Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Together, Jake and his friends interview talents varying from actors, directors, writers, producers, composers, puppeteers, and so much more. Who will they be chatting with today? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. I am one of your co-hosts, Chris Bixby, and with me today, as always, our other co-hosts, Wyatt McCullough, Matt Bingle, his pal Marty Monster, and our host, Jake Teffenbaugh. How are you guys?
Hey,
How
are you, Chris? How you doing?
Very good and very excited for today's interview. We always love doing interviews with two guests. It's been a while since we've done one, but today, one of our guests, he is an actor and a puppeteer who, since the 50th anniversary special of Sesame Street, has taken on the role of Hoots the Owl and is currently performing Elijah, who is the father of the character from one of our other guests, who is also a puppeteer, and he performs the character Wes.
Yep.
And Tamir as well. He took on that role as well. And here they are, Chris Thomas Hayes and Bradley Freeman Jr. How are you both?
Hey going on, man? Doing good.
There you go.
Yes, we're very happy to have the both of you on.
It's great to hear.
Yeah, so to kind of start this off, so we know who you are, but for those who don't know, can you both tell a little bit about yourselves?
Chris,
yeah, sure. Okay, good. Chris Thomas Hayes. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. Jumped all over the East Coast and half of the USA performing puppets and acting, actually. So I'm a puppeteer and an actor. Moved to Atlanta in 2008 and then started doing TV and film acting, Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf, furniture. I would say furniture commercials, that kind of like employee handbook stuff. Like, you know, like you would see me like pretend to be the manager. So I did a lot of film and television stuff here, and then transitioned from theater puppetry, which I was doing for a long time, to film and television puppetry. And then I've been with Sesame since my first job was 2015. So it's been a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice. And Bradley, what about you?
That's awesome.
Well, I'm Bradley Freeman Jr. and I've been a performer on Sesame Street since 2021. Since 2021, performing Wes. So very, very, very recent. I'm only about a year and a half in.
Yeah.
But I got there through a workshop that I did with Sesame back in 2018 that Chris was actually a part of. And that's sort of how I got into the world. And I stayed in touch with Marty Robinson, and then he later.
Yes, one of our previous guests. He's amazing.
He is a previous guest.
Love Marty. Just at his house yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, him and I stayed in touch, and we were back and forth through email. And then after a few years, I finally got around to making myself a demo reel for puppetry, just sort of putting together some of the work that I've done. I sent it to him to see, like, let me know what's wrong with it so that I can fix it. I want to know, like, is it too long? Is it too short? And he said, this is great. Long story short, the producers will be in touch shortly. And I was like, oh, wait, no. Hey, just wanted to. And then they asked me to
I already set it out.
And they asked me to audition for Wes and Elijah. Spoiler alert, I only got one of the characters. And the rest has been history. I've been working as a puppeteer with Sesame and the Muppets ever since.
Hey, nice. You should also add Bradley's like a really talented musician as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I play music, sure.
Yeah,
talented,
nice.
But I play music.
Yeah. What instruments do you play?
I play the piano and the drums and the bass, and I like ukulele.
Wow. Nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
Nice.
Really nice, really nice.
Very
Yes.
Surely. So
wait, Chris, don't you play the saxophone?
I do.
And he plays Hoots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every time they're like, well, you could probably play a lick if you wanted to. I was like, I I don't want to. No,
thanks. So can you both talk about your background and how you grew up? I know, Chris, you were in Hartford. So what was that all like growing up for the both of you?
It was pretty good, honestly. It was a lot of. So I'm from inner city, so there were a lot of programs I was thrown into so that I would get around all like gang culture and drug culture and violent stuff. But that benefited me, so it was like this stuff's going down, so I get to go. They put us out in the wilderness for a day, like walk around the forest, like deep forest, and we're like. Yeah. Oh crap! Or I get to like, there's a basketball league, or there's musical theater. There's so much tons. So I was deep in all of that stuff growing up. Athletics, music, singing, theater. When I was in middle school, I was paid to go over to. They would come and pick me up, and then they would pay me to sing in this Episcopalian choir. And so like it was like a lot of me just trying stuff, and some stuff did not stick. Like I did gymnastics for one day and like stuff like that. But but it was cool to kind of play around and be a kid. Video games were very, very new, and there wasn't a lot of streaming. There was no streaming stuff. There was no damn internet. So it's like, so I got a lot of benefit of being able to like just play and explore.
There you go.
Nice. And Bradley, what about you?
So I grew up in Brownsville, Texas, which is the very if you picture Texas, and you picture the very bottom jalapeno tip, that's where I'm from. And I was right next to the border of Mexico. In fact, my high school was so close to Mexico that when I would get to school, my phone would send me a text saying, "Welcome to Mexico. Roaming charges are blah, 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 blah." And I was like, I'm not in Mexico, but I'm getting charged like I am. We were very close to Mexico there. And so I grew up with a lot of Hispanic. I'm Black and Mexican, so I'm Blaxican. And so a lot of my upbringing was very much on the Hispanic side. And, it was an interesting town. It's sort of a small town, Brownsville. And I did a lot of theater, like anything I could do that was creative. I would do band, I did theater, I did a program called Destination Imagination, which was instrumental in helping me get to where I am today. Look it up. It's a beautiful program. It's too much to explain, but it's a beautiful program. And it's just doing a lot of that. And I always sort of knew from a young age when I went through, from the first time that I saw the Muppet Show season 1, I got it on DVD, DVD, and it was at Walmart. And it was like $25 or something, and my grandparents were like, "I don't know, a DVD for $25. Are you gonna watch it? Are you gonna watch it?" And I'm like, yes, it's the 4-disc set. Of course I'm gonna watch it. I need it so bad. And then I would watch it so much, and I watched all the bonus features and the fun facts and everything because I loved the fact that, especially in season 1, you could see all of the mistakes. You could see all of the sleeves come up too high. You could see the head. You could hear Miss Piggy's voice go from one person to another. All of that stuff was just incredible to me. And I sort of, one of my colleagues described it best, which is like, essentially from the moment I discovered puppetry, it was like a laser beam. It wasn't so much, oh, I'm going to do that. It was, that's what's going to happen. Everything that I do is going to be something that I can pull some sort of inspiration or something from, so that I can actually do this in the future. Everything that I'm doing, whether it be musical theater or acting or being in band, is going to have a quality of some kind that I can use for puppetry. So that was awesome.
That's awesome. So for the both of you, can you talk a little bit about how the two of you got into puppetry?
For me, it was second. I mean, obviously grew up watching Sesame, a lot of Sesame. There was so much of it. There was just so much of it. You would feel like you almost never saw. You're like, I've never seen it. And like I'm 80s, early 80s baby. So it's like, by the time I come up, they're already like 15 or something years in. They're like, we got a ton of stuff. So watching a lot of that was just like crazy. And then we had puppets in school. Puppets were in school, which were big, like profound thing. I would take my teacher's puppets home and like just stare at them like, how do they make this? And then one of the biggest things for me was during the summers, I would visit my dad here in Atlanta. I was coming from Connecticut to Atlanta. He put me in summer camp, which was outrageous. I came all the way to Atlanta to go to summer camp. But the summer camp would go to the Center for Puppetry Arts. And that's when I finally saw the museum. I saw the shows there and talked to education folks. And the education lady who was working there was like, the Muppets come here all the time, and they have puppeteers from the center who puppeteer on the Muppets now. So this is a good place to work someday. And I was little, and I was like, well, I'm doing that. And now growing up and looking back, the puppeteers would come out of the center. David Stevens as performer on Sesame came out of the center. Peter Lenz, Alice. Yeah. Those are all guys who started at the center and did stuff at the center, and then I've gone on to do amazing things on both, all the Henson entities.
Oh yes,
like Bear and all that.
Yeah,
Bradley, what about you?
Ooh, I love that. I love Bear. For me, I always loved puppetry, and I just thought it was the best, and so I started from a very young age, watching the Muppet Show. My dad had gotten me a camcorder, a little recorder, and I had a small TV monitor that my grandma used to use to watch her soap operas when we were in the car.
Yeah.
And so I would plug the camera into the TV, and I figured out that's how they did it. And the cool thing was, it was already a reverse image. It was already it was already a true image. So from the time I was like 7 or 8, I started training with monitor work, and basically just lip syncing to anything I could find. Lip syncing to mostly season 1 of the Muppet Show, lip syncing to a lot of Fraggle Rock stuff, lip syncing to just videos on YouTube, and dancing and finding ways to play with frame and coming in on the edge, and all of and making sure that I'm locking eye focus the best I could with the crappy puppets that I had. And just practicing and practicing and practicing. And then in 2018, I think it was actually 2017 when they announced that there was like an open call audition for the Sesame Workshop. And it was an international workshop, and it was just anybody send in a video, we'll watch it, and if we like it, come on in.
There you go.
And so I sent in a video as Chris, and I think out of 500 or so applicants, we ended up making it in. And so from there, we did it. That's awesome. It was really cool. So we did the workshop. It was a ton of fun. I've made some incredible friends there. Many of them are friends, still friends today, and will not stop texting me as I'm on this podcast. But from there, it was just incredible. And like I said, I stayed in touch with Marty, and did all those things, and then and then I told the rest of the story. So yeah, that's basically how I got into it. I always loved it. I was always practicing. I took puppets to school. I didn't get bullied, which is cool. I didn't get bullied.
That's really cool. That's
awesome. I know, right?
It's amazing.
So it was a lot of that.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. Awesome. I know. Obviously, besides Sesame Street and the Muppet Show, which you mentioned, Bradley, what for the two of you, what puppetry shows did the two of you grow up with?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of the really ones I really heavily focused on, and it's weird because I don't know if I've told Noel before. Noel McNeil is in a lot lot of them.
Yes.
I was like, every time I'm like, dude, man, I'm not telling. I watch so much. I watch Puzzle Place a ton. Eureka's Castle. I watched a ton of that. Underneath the Umbrella Tree.
I
Bradley, you may be on this too. I went to a lot of Vacation Bible School and that kind of stuff. So Gerber, you remember him? you watch
No,
Gerber?
I think I actively avoided Gerber. I think I did.
You're like, no. Yeah, Gerber was on there
until recently, and I was like, ooh.
His mouth plate was so good. You'd be like,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all your Henson properties.
Oh yeah.
I think other guys. A little bit of Pinwheel, but not a ton of it. I think I was like right on the end of Pinwheel. That was old puppet show. And then like I tell you, one of the puppet guys and shows I loved so much, and like the comedy still stays with me, is Wienerville.
I know about that.
Yeah,
Mark
Wienerville is crazy. It's really specific, and that Humanettes and that used to drive me crazy. I used to love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wienerville. I've seen stuff like online about like the top like 15 Nickelodeon shows that nobody remembers, and that's
and
one
that
of
was
them.
one of them.
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
Obviously, somebody remembers.
I remember.
Yeah.
Somebody does.
Bradley's gonna deep dive now. I saw that look.
Yeah,
It is ridiculous.
About Wienerville.
Wienerville is hilarious.
I thought that was a fever dream. I could have sworn I only saw
Right?
that like one time at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
What's going on?
That's like the second person we know that's watched the Nickelodeon show at 2:00 in the morning. Oh,
Yeah. This is definitely one of those shows where like you were sick all day, so you were kind of sleepy, and then you're feeling better, but you wake up at like 1:30 or 2,
You're
and
like,
you
what
look,
is
you're just on TV, and it's Team Nick, and you just see this screaming at you.
Yeah,
And you're like,
there it is, yeah.
is this real? Then you never see it again. And of course,
was
at that
every
time, we didn't really
character.
have internet to look it up.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Bradley? What other kind of shows did you grow up with as far as puppetry?
Definitely Sesame Street. A lot of Elmo specials. I loved anything Elmo.
Yes.
Same here.
Play With Me Sesame on Nine.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Bear in the Big Blue House was
Yes.
huge for me.
Same
Between the Lions.
Yes.
Yes.
All wonderful
Great
shows.
And if anybody remembers the Wobulous World of Dr.
Yes.
Seuss.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wobulous World, I watched a ton. What else was there? Oh, of course, Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Of course.
A lot of Fraggle Rock stuff. And then what else? I mean, all of the Muppet movies. I had my two favorite Muppet movies that I would watch. Oh my god, so much was Muppets from Space and Muppets Take Manhattan were the two that I would watch over and over and over, to the point where like the DVDs don't work anymore.
Oh wow.
Muppets. I love Muppets from Space. It's such a crazy movie.
It's so wacky and funny. It's a funny movie. I mean, I don't think it gets enough credit for how funny it is. That's a funny movie.
I bought
very underrated.
Muppets Take Manhattan from like the $5 bin at Walmart. Really, really cheap DVD. But the reason I bring it up is that when you played it, something about how they edit it or like how they cut it, it cuts way too low.
Oh my god.
So the entire movie, and I have it somewhere in the house, I gotta find it. The entire movie, you see like this much head and like all sub-slave. You're like, whoa. And most people would have taken it back, but I was like, this is a blessing. This is a blessing. You saw like heads is moving. You're like, this is amazing. You didn't get the widescreen. Something messed up in it.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
If you find it by the time I see you in October, can you bring it up so I can watch
I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna see if I can get it to play.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
We need to digify that so we can have just a copy.
Just to see the
That's
Jim has his forehead.
I would love to see that. I love catching I love trying to recognize foreheads because sometimes people are doubling up for other characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Is that Marty?
Right. Frank Oz is doing that now. Oh, yeah.
I'm the exact same way. I love looking at that. Sometimes I'll look at like behind the scenes photos too of like certain things and
yes.
Yeah, I love nerding out about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
For the both of you, who are some of your inspirations?
What are your inspirations?
Oh man. Growing up, I'm trying to think. Obviously, you talk about anything with puppetry. Kevin Clash came on. It was real big. In the late 90s, we just started figuring out that there were people under the puppets because they started showing us like, oh wow. So like Kevin, and then later like Noel, seeing puppetry wise.
Yeah.
And then there are tons of people growing up. I used to be a super fan of Sabian Glover, who was also on Sesame.
Right, yeah.
And he was doing Broadway shows, and it was great stuff. And Don Cheadle was doing stuff. Will Smith was very young.
Yeah.
And then watching these guys just kind of come and turn into superstars was amazing. And then, like, honestly, a lot of the big people I looked to were people who were close to me, who were doing stuff and were actively creating, which is, amazing. My cousin rapped with KRS-One back in the day, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So to know that, like, we have the power to like create stuff and not just wait for famous people and celebrities to give us art. So that kind of stuff is cool.
Nice. Nice. Bradley, what about you?
I mean, as far as puppetry world goes, there are so many different people who inspire me for different reasons. So I think, people like Jim inspire me in terms of leadership.
Oh yeah.
Just in the way that he led people and just paved the way for so many. Frank Oz inspires me in his characters. I mean, if there's a person who knows how to make a lasting character, it's Frank Oz.
Exactly.
Every Muppet entity you look at has got at least 2 or 3 Frank Oz like major characters that he started and just knew what he was doing, I think Matt Vogel has always been a huge inspiration.
He's taken on so many different characters.
Yeah, including Kermit.
Yeah.
And just the way that he carries himself and the way that he has such reverence for these characters is incredible. Kevin Clash was huge for me. I mean, I wanted to be Kevin Clash.
Oh, wow.
And Noel, of course, with Bear and Lionel and everything that I watched him, and Keiko was just like, it was so cool because Noel, of all the performers, Noel and I have the most similar like complexion and look. And so like to look at him and be like, oh man, that's something that looks like I can do that. It was just really, really incredible. And outside of that, my grandfather was a huge inspiration for me, just as he was a very kind, generous, funny, welcoming man. And I've always wanted to be that person, just to sort of make you feel comfortable when you're around me.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, there's a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. Marty Robinson. Of course, just his ability to make a character just steal the show in any scene he's in is just one of my favorite things. I just love that. He's extremely kind. Pam Marciero. Pam Marciero is the other one. She is another person who's just kind and welcoming and is such a good teacher and trainer. And I don't know, I could go down a list, and I know I'm going to forget people, so I'll stop there. But I mean, so many people is just like you look at them and it's like, I love you, and I love this about you, and I really want to find a way to take that and bring that into myself, because I want to be like you. I want to have that quality. I want people to be able to say the same thing that they do about you, about me. Just, I don't know.
When I think about Marty, why not focus on Marty? But I think the thing I really like about Marty is the fact that was able to have something of his own that was non-Sesame related. Even with the Halloween show, incredible. And then with Little Shop, I'm just like, that's great. But like that's the inspiration for me currently. Like I think like people like Marty and Tyler the same way. Like they have these things that don't grab on to Sesame stuff all the time, and it's like I got this little thing for myself, which is so nice.
Which is really nice.
When I'm working, I'm like, I got it. Marty did it already.
Yeah.
And how funny, because that's exactly what I was just doing with Marty. We were doing his wife Annie Evans wrote a play. Yeah, and we did the Annika's Elephants, which is
amazing.
A play. It was a beautiful show, and we're hoping to sort of take it around to more places. But that's what I was just able to do that. And even that, the puppets that he built for that show, if you see any pictures that people have posted online, please just enjoy those puppets because they are big, beautiful rattan, life-size elephants, and they're incredible.
You got to work with Sedwan on that, right?
Oh, I got to work with Sedwan.
I love Sedwan.
Latoria.
Latoria, I love her too, man.
It was a good time.
It's so fun because you just named like all the people on that thing. I'm like, I don't even know if that show's possible in 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many people coming.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
the
thing about that show.
Amazing puppeteers, and they're all people of color. It was just like so crazy.
Oh yes,
exactly.
They're all just in their own worlds a decade ago.
It's a new I don't know, it's this new crop of people, and everyone's so happy and grateful to be here, and everyone's getting work all of a sudden. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's great.
Yes. Yeah. So now, Marty, now's your time.
Now
to
you
shine.
can ask the question.
Yeah,
Marty Monster.
I know you've been winning.
Hey.
I know you've been winning. Hey, I've been waiting patiently. Yes, you have. So, Bradley, you had brought up that you started last year with Sesame, and Chris, you had started a couple years ago. How did you both start working on Sesame? How did that happen for you?
Oh, cool. Well, with me in 2014, I had been working. Even before that, in 2010, I started working for the center, and John Ludwig, who was the artistic director, was like, "Hey, I know it's you got a couple months before your show starts, and I know you're going away to Kentucky to work, but while we're waiting for the show to start, we got this guy coming in. He's going to teach television puppetry. I kind of want you to, if you want to sit in on it, go ahead for it." And it was Steve Whitmire.
Oh wow!
Who was playing Kermit and Ernie, and he basically, I was like, "Oh, this is a fantastic time." And then I went to his workshop. There were tons of people there, and he did the workshop. Like he probably did 4 or 5 workshops that day, and just like cycling through. And I think I was in like the last group, and I did some stuff. I was like, that was amazing. And then I stayed behind and talked to him. We talked about Atlanta and puppetry and stuff. And then he said, "I'm going to come back and do a smaller one. It's on the hush. I'll holler at you, let you know." And so he came back a couple weeks later and did a smaller workshop with like, maybe there might have been like 6 of us in there. And we just like hammered more on monitor stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of set me off into making my own stuff and putting demo stuff together. And then 2014, I submitted when the first workshop came back with Matt, Marty, and Pete. Did the workshops in 2014. I applied for that, and then got into the actual workshops in 2015. And then I did that first workshop, and then from that workshop, they were just like, "This is not an audition. There's no work. We have nothing to tell you." And so I waited from like February of 2015 until the season started, or February or something. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but I waited, and then finally got a call out of nowhere. They're like, "Hey, they want you to help out on the show." And I was like, "Oh crap, really?" And so showed up, and I've been around. That first time was season 46. So
wow,
amazing season.
Awesome.
Nice. Bradley, what about you?
Yeah. So after I auditioned for Wes, I started primarily working on, Sesame Street communities.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
that was sort of what I was doing. It was mostly digital content. They would have to fly me up for things. So they wouldn't fly me up unless, I was playing Wes or sort of where's my, like, they wouldn't fly me up to just be an assist, doing right hand work and stuff like that. They would fly me up to do Wes, and then I would help for other videos that they had going on at the same time. And after a little bit, there started to be, different schedule contexts, conflicts with different puppeteers, different COVID things happening. And so I started filling in for a lot of the puppetry for Tamir. And so I was doing that for the gala and stuff. It was just like Tao couldn't make it. He was out of town, couldn't get the COVID test. All of that stuff was happening. So I was, I filled in for Tao as Tamir, and then he would dub over. And then after a little while, Tao decided he wanted to pursue different creative ventures. And so him and I talked about it for a while, and we talked about the character, and from there on, I was we had auditions for the character. Sesame had auditions, and I auditioned, and I ended up getting the role very, very luckily.
Oh,
and
wow.
so Tao and I talked even further about, the legacy of that character and what he wanted to do with it and what I wanted to do with it. And so I've been finding a way to sort of, honor what he had, but take it my own way. And then I was able to start on season 53 as Tamir, and he was, you guys will see once it comes out, he's actually a pretty big part of the show.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Very happy to hear that.
Fantastic. And yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay, so I know Wyatt wanted to bring up something cool.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned it off camera.
Yeah.
You both worked with Brandon Smith, one of our previous guests.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's the one who won't stop texting me.
Oh, see, that makes sense.
Really?
That makes sense. He's very good friends with Matt.
Hey man, what you guys talking about? We like Brandon.
Yeah.
We love Brandon.
Brandon's awesome.
Brandon's cool.
He's amazing.
Brandon's a really good friend of mine. We've been friends for a few years.
Oh, cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yes,
amazing.
Great guy.
And a previous
Great performer,
guest.
great impressionist.
Oh, yes.
No, yes.
Fantastic.
He's not nice.
Just bring up, no. If you want to talk about not nice, you bring out his character Bubba. There you go.
Yeah, he has a character.
Yeah.
He has
Bubba
he has a
next time.
character that's not exactly nice, but
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, Bubba.
Mhm.
No, but Bubba's such a lovable lug. We love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed.
What? Never mind.
We
Peter
love
doesn't
Bubba.
love
We love all his characters.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Who are some
so
other guests that you guys have had on the show?
You mentioned Tyler
boy.
Bunch previously. They had Tyler Bunch on. Me and Matt weren't there.
Yeah, we weren't there.
yeah, we had Tyler
Wonderful.
Bunch. We had Stephanie
Ricky
DeBruzzo,
Stephanie Bruzzo.
Ricky Boyd.
Nice.
I love Ricky
You got
Boyd.
Ricky.
He's
Yes,
awesome.
Marty Robinson,
Marty-
of course. I
Bruce
mentioned
I love Ricky.
Yep.
Bruce Lanoyle, John Kennedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
love Bruce.
Did
We-
Ricky
we've
talk
had-
about cat head biscuit? He's like, Ricky, if you need something about the size of a cat head biscuit, Ricky,
No.
what's a cat head biscuit? It's a biscuit about the size of a cat head. It's like- he has like great
Right
puppet stories.
explanation.
We'll bring him back on so Matt can meet him.
Yeah,
You-
so
you- You're
Yes, I
doing that
think-
for like every guest.
Yeah, we're doing we're not for everyone.
the list goes on. We've had so many
Oh, yeah,
different like
great people.
puppetry.
So
folks
many
on.
amazing people. Oh yeah.
Great people.
Yes, and we've had other people who have done other things on Sesame. Like we had Ivy Austin on.
Oh yes.
Yeah, who was one of the Oinker sisters' voices. Yeah, that she was amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Amazing. So another thing I'm kind of curious about. So working on Sesame for the first time for both of you, do you remember like? Well, obviously, Bradley, you started taking over Tamir, and what were the first roles that the two of you did on your first day of Sesame?
Oh, first day I did Honker.
Oh wow.
Honker and Hoopers.
Wow.
That was the first day, and then my first day was crazy. I assisted Leslie on Abby on she did this big guitar best friends band.
Yes, I've seen that.
Oh,
episode.
yeah,
I know what you're
yeah.
talking about.
I love that episode.
That was crazy, and it was like the entire time. I remember the AD was just like, he's like, usually they would not let someone do this on their first day, but hang in there. I was like, I'm feeling fine. This is a lot of close ups, and then she's just wailing on the guitar. And
That's
that was
amazing.
that was like the first day or second day, one of those two. It was I slept good that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first day. So I just coincident. So I looked it up because I know I have a picture from my first day, but I guess I technically can't show because it hasn't premiered yet. But
Right.
I do
Oh,
have
right.
a picture.
Right. it has
I do have a
images.
picture of the Muppet Lounge, and on the Muppet Lounge, there's a piece of paper that sort of gives you a breakdown of the talent and what characters you're going to be playing, what characters you're going to be assisting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember until right now the fact that my first day, my first job was assisting Elmo, and
That
then
sounds great.
assisting
That's
Oscar
crazy.
in the
Wow.
cam, and then assisting with an octopus. I remember I assisted an octopus. I assisted Elmo again, and then I played Tamir for the first time.
Oh,
that was because on your first day, man. Yeah,
on my
first day.
Wow.
And then I assisted Elmo again for the very last thing.
So here we go.
Wow.
So that was.
Oh my gosh!
And I remember, luckily my first thing with Tamir was like I just had to look at something and go, oh, or something like that. Like that was all I really had to do. Which was great because it was just like sort of part of a song, and they needed a shot where it was like Elmo and Tamir at the table or something, and they were talking about something, and then it was a song about counting. You know how Sesame Street does.
Yeah.
Right.
And so so we did that, and then but that was I had a very full long first day.
You were in there.
A lot of assisting. I was assisting in the can. So when you're assisting Oscar with this new can, you have to if you're doing the right hand, you also have to be the lid person. So you're in charge of opening and closing the lid.
Yeah.
Which can be very stressful because he'll pop up and you have to, the way that the lid works is there's a sort of a handle, and it's on sort of a pulley. So you can pull the lid up basically, but Eric can't do it himself. So you have to do it here. And so you just pull as hard as you can and it'll stay up. But the issue is Oscar will throw himself up so quickly that the lid really, really wants to come back down. So I have to pull so hard to get it to work and make it look natural with this hand. And then I have to pull extra hard to make sure that it's not falling down at any point. And then when he's done, I have to know exactly when he's done because I can't just let go because sometimes the lid will get stuck and it won't come down. So I have to like find a way to get it to rest wherever it is and then go up and reach my hand over at the actual lid and then slam it shut with my hand and remove it before the camera sees me, all still while being the right hand. It's just like, just
when you did Oscar, were you in the confined one or was Elmo's apartment gone?
No, I was in front of Elmo's apartment.
Okay, yeah, because I know sometimes
not the one that Carol used, the new one.
Because I know that like it used to be when I saw Oscar's can, I've done it like once. And all the other times I've done Oscar, he's been outside the can. And like that the claustrophobia in that place was just like, oh my God. And then the Arbor set, like the little play village where they had all the games and stuff. That was also a like claustrophobia place whenever a puppet is sitting on those steps.
Yeah, John Kennedy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've never sat in those steps, but I've seen characters sit there, and I didn't know we didn't have anybody do that for season 53, so I didn't know that it was possible.
Oh wow!
Until I saw a video of Julia sitting there.
Oh, it's so terrifying. I was there, and her and Warwick went in the stairs, and I was like, "That's not so bad." And then a guy came and went. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Well, we got to close the seams." I'm like,
"Get locked in."
What if there's a fire? They're like,
You know what's funny? I think John Kennedy mentioned that too. Times where he'd like double for Oscar or whatever, and being like locked in the can almost.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tight in there.
I think I might know.
Especially when they gotta like move, like they've done some like Steadicam shots through the thing, and so they have the sides closed.
Yeah. When the sides are closed, it's rough because you're not really getting too much air. But what you can do, the cool thing about Oscar's can is once you're in there, the spot that's over the can,
right?
You know, like all of this, the can, the front walls, the side walls is really, really tight. Like I have to be behind Eric, and there's a special monitor set up so that I can be doing it from over here while Eric is like up here. I'm reaching in from behind him. But if I were to crawl out just a little bit further, you can actually just stand up in Elmo's apartment.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
Which I would do if I was stuck in there all day. If I would like climb out a little bit and just get up and stretch, and you just sort of see my hands coming up Elmo's window, like just moving around.
But it was a weird time when they had the floor was in there for some reason. I was like, that's crazy.
They had a floor in his apartment.
They had a floor in his thing. But now you see the drop off, it's like,
well, there's no need.
I don't know if that might have been a one-time thing of a person or something.
Maybe because it was like a high shot or human. Something. Yeah. Because otherwise you can just puppeteer Elmo standing up from inside of that apartment.
I like that wall.
Yeah.
So I ended up in that can more than I wanted to be there.
It was really fun,
but it was fun. It was fun.
I bet.
Nice, really nice.
Okay, human, your turn. Fine. So this one's solely for Chris.
Yeah, I've got a few of them here from right now.
Oh shoot.
No pressure. Right. When Sesame Street aired its 50th anniversary, you took over the role of Hoots. How did you feel getting to take on the role of such a memorable character?
Oh, it's a legacy character. I mean,
yeah,
I grew up watching this character a lot, like a lot.
Wow.
Like I remember when Put Down the Ducky came out. I was
Yes.
like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
With the Giants were in the video, like I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like it's just
yes.
Everybody was in that video and it was insane.
That video was amazing.
And so I was when I auditioned for that. One, I went in there like all y'all. I mean, I auditioned for stuff constantly, for puppet stuff and non-puppet stuff and voiceover stuff. And for most stuff, like when you hear the auditions, you get really excited, and then you just like work your way back off excitement. Like, let me just put in some work, and then shrug, because who knows if you'll get it or not. And the same thing with Hoots. I was super excited. I was like, this is amazing! What an amazing opportunity, to be actually get a chance to go in an audition. And I went in there and auditioned, and I just went, I probably won't get it, but that was amazing. And this character's amazing. And just to even be able to say I did that is great. I just know there's so many good puppeteers out there. And then when I actually, it was quiet for a while because I auditioned in like January and then here back till February on my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, like Matt Vogel's calling. I'm like, he's just calling to say happy birthday. What's going on, Matt? He's like, oh, by the way, you're doing the thing. I'm like, oh my god. And then begins the process of just trying. I'm saying that I'm sure Tamir's had a smaller amount of time, but you're just like sitting in front of this character, just like staring at it and figuring out what you bring to it and what's been brought to it, and like trying to honor everywhere it's been. It's been a process, and I was thrown in hardcore because it lined up with the 50th. So I had a month or two, and then it was off to LA to work and to do him for real.
Yes, very great special, folks.
Yeah,
if you have not seen it, very great special. A lot of old faces came back.
Yeah, we're not seeing here.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that was insane. That was cool. Seeing all the folks and they had they missed there was talent that was supposed to be in the video, and something backed up and didn't work out, and then they ended up having an idea like, oh, we'll bring in all these people and and
oh wow,
we'll do it like we did the original, and actually watching all the celebrities sing the song and with the ducky, I was like, this is really cool. It's a surreal moment.
Yeah.
But the celebrities the celebrities we did get a chance to work with were fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah,
they were great, very talented.
Exactly.
Yes, and they brought even if it was very brief, they brought back a lot of like the retired characters too, which I think is amazing. Like, well, of course, Hoots hadn't been up to that point, hadn't been used in a while, and they brought back, oh boy, Sherlock Hemlock. They brought back
Biff.
Yeah, Forgetful Jones, Biff, Sully, all these wonderful classic characters.
Roosevelt Franklin came back.
Yeah, I was
Roosevelt Franklin. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lefty, a bunch of guys.
So many amazing people.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And we're all just staring at them on the puppet rack, like, oh, you guys got him. Oh wow.
Yeah.
We got a chance to Bradley. That last season, we got a chance to check out the Muppet Room. On set. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Wow.
That was a museum.
Music. Yeah, it was just like tons of stuff down there.
Try on Don Music and stuff. Yeah, there's a room just under the stage that the Wranglers, they have, instead of having to go back to Henson for all of their things to the workshop, they have a workshop that's just under where they have, a lot of spare vegetables and pigs and dogs and cats and squirrels and spare Muppets and spare Muppet parts. And so we got to go down there and sort of just
that was amazing,
explore and look. Yeah, it was cool. And
awesome.
one of the great things is have you seen those pictures of like Cookie Monster and Elmo filing cabinets and like their heads are poking out?
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, except everything is closed. And so but there's like an Ernie filing cabinet and you open it up and it's Ernie. and then you close it. It's a Cookie Monster one, and there's like 2 Cookie Monsters in here, and it's actually really, really cool. And so you get to look around, and it's like, it is. I mean, to any Sesame Street fan, it's basically a little museum, but it's a living museum because these puppets are going to get pulled out and used
going upstairs
for filming. Yeah.
Yep.
To be filmed. Yeah. It was really cool. It was a great day. Thanks, Rose.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. For you, Chris, what was it like getting to meet the original human cast?
Yeah, on the 50th. Special.
Oh, that was very cool. I came in really late on that day because I had shot up, and we shot almost all of Hoots stuff in LA. Yeah. And then I had to go and catch the front side and do a bunch of other Hoots stuff in New York. And I came in like very late, and they were just about to start shooting. And I literally like ran into Kaufman, put Hoots in my hand, and like jumped in the scene. And it wasn't, so I didn't look around me. I was like, okay, we gotta go. And I was like, I'm here. I started doing the song, and I looking on the monitor, and I'm like, there's Nora Jones behind me. And like, I'm like seeing like everyone just like all over, like, there's Sonia. Oh, what? Maria's there. And like, geez. And like, and it was just, it really takes you a second to kind of register what happened. Cause I just was not, I mean, I read through the script and I knew, everyone's going to be there. But then like, when you're there, you're like, oh, they're like really all here. I really just ran into this place because I didn't have that time to sit around and kind of like, whoa, Linda. Oh, wow. There's Bob. It was just me watching the TV. Yeah. Going. Realizing. Then when they yell cut, I'm like, what? So it was very cool. And that was just all hands on deck because we were deep back then. We had it was very cool to watch everyone work.
Yeah, awesome. I know Emil Delgado was on it.
Yes.
Everybody, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Great, man.
I want to I hope to get a chance to meet and hang with some of the original humans, the cast. I mean, every actor they've brought in has been amazing people to talk to and sit with. But I hope to meet even more folks. We got a chance to meet Roscoe.
Yeah, on the haircut
came back
video. Yeah, the barbershop.
That guy's
video.
cool, man.
Oh yes.
Wyatt, wonderful.
Love that video. You guys did a very good job on that. I love that.
Yes, you did.
Wonderful. It was very fun.
God,
I think that was very much thanks to Noel as well. Noel was
right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw because we're Facebook friends too. Because I was a part of DJ Bob's show years ago, and we interviewed Noel, and I saw on his Facebook that he directed quite a bit this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's great.
He did. Yeah. It was so much fun to work with him. It's always great, to work with a director who's also a puppeteer.
Yeah, and someone you grew up watching too, right?
Oh, of course, someone who's been a huge inspiration for me as well. And so they just it just clicks. It just clicks immediately, and they know exactly how things are going to get done, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah,
definitely. So for you, Chris, you also performed Hoots in the Swingin' Sesame Street celebration concert at the Lincoln Center. What was that experience like? I'm
a big jazz head. I went to school my freshman year at the Hart School of Music that I did not realize was very, very hard to get in. I was like, oh crap. But I went there my freshman year, and I spent a year watching and listening people just play amazing jazz, amazing instrumentalists and vocalists who are out there now still creating. Jackie McLean, the jazz legend, would talk about hanging out with Miles Davis and stuff like that. He was incredible. He would just be walking through the hallways. And so there's always been this like love of jazz. My freshman year also was a time when I had a lot of friends who were in those jazz bands, and they were like, hey man, at 2:00, meet me at this room and just walk in. Don't say anything. Just walk in and sit down and come to this class. And I was like, why would I come to extra classes? Just come to this class. I'm like, all right, man. And so I show up, I walk into this classroom and I sit down. I'm like, what is going to happen? And Wynton Marsalis walks in, He's like, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm coming hang out with y'all. So I'm just gonna hang out. We're gonna play some trumpet, talk a little bit. And so I sat through I snuck into his class and watched him talk about jazz for like an hour and a half and play. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
And then
that's awesome.
A couple years later, same thing happened. I'm at Berea in Kentucky. That's where I graduated, Berea, Kentucky. And then they have the Marcus Roberts Trio come in. And they Marcus Roberts Trio, and they're like, hey, I know you like jazz a lot. Do you want to come back and meet the guys? I'm like, of course. And Marcus Roberts Trio, their drummer is Jason Marsalis. And so I hang with him for like another hour just talking about University of Hartford stuff and talking about Jackie McLean, talking about Winton. And like those moments were just like, they sat in my brain just watching jazz from this close. And so when this concert came up, and I knew it was always a possibility, I didn't think it would happen, but it did happen. And so when it actually happened, I'm sitting in the room and I'm like, that's Jason Marsalis. He just like, oh yeah, he's playing today. And it went and I'm like, these are guys who like, I've been around like, Jason, we met 15 years ago. Like, I don't remember that. Like, yeah, but we see each other on the street and like, hey, Chris, like, hey, Jason. It's just insane to watch these guys who are so viciously talented with music. And they're watching us like, man, how you do that, man? I'm like, I'm not playing it. You're playing the trumpet. I'm like, but that's incredible, man. That's crazy. Like what you're doing is crazy. And like that whole moment, that's like, I'll talk about that forever.
There you go.
That's awesome.
So Bradley, when you started working for Sesame Street, you took over the role of Tamir. What has that experience been like so far?
It's interesting because Tamir hasn't been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so it was very much like, it was more internal than it was external in terms of content and things to sort of glean from. It wasn't like I've grown up with Tamir. It's sort of like I just got to know him, and then I started helping him out, and then I became the entirety of the character.
Yeah.
And so season 53 was really a journey of taking Tamir from being somebody that I didn't know at all, to being a character that I absolutely love and adore, and I look forward to performing, which is exactly where I think he should be. He's been, and you'll see in season 53, it's not that he's changed, but he's definitely evolved, and he's just so weird. He's so weird, and it's awesome. We're playing it like he's a little bit dorky. He likes comic books. He's a little bit awkward. He's one of the older kids on the street, so he takes care of people, but he loves to draw comic books and he loves to hang out with his friends, and he loves to just like, sometimes he's really happy to be, he sort of feels like me on Sesame Street, right? He's like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm just not sure that I belong here, Like, I'm just not sure. Like, do you guys know that I'm still here, right? Like, you guys, you're okay with me living here? Okay, great. Like, that's sort of his whole, it's very just, and it's been very fun to discover him through the season and through all of the digital content that we've been doing, like his new show, Tamir on the Street, which is where actually Tamir got to interview Wes, which was very, very fun. And so that's the second episode I actually get to have the two of them talk to each other, which is very fun.
Nice.
So
that's amazing.
we did that, and there's two, it'll be premiering every month, which is great. So very fun.
Cool.
And we've got a lot of stuff planned for him for season 54, because now that we sort of know who he is, because season 53 was not written for me as Tamir, and because he sort of evolved a little bit differently. I've had conversations with the writers and stuff, and it's been like, oh, well, now we get it. Now we get it. Okay, now let's try these lanes and figure out where exactly does he stick, because we know the lanes that we want to go down, and we just like, he'll evolve and we'll continue to find him as we go. But it's a bit more specific now, and I'm very excited, and he's just so much fun. I mean, I just love having him and messing around, and he's one of those characters that it's weird because, he makes me laugh, which is weird because I am him.
Yeah.
But he's just funny and weird, and he's not like Wes, because Wes is very excitable and cute and just very, very personable and welcoming and cute. He's just like this cute little ball of energy.
Yes.
And Tamir is this like awkward 8-year-old who like, I can dance.
Yeah.
Like, like that sort of thing. And
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, it's been extremely fun finding Tamir and being able to then, through what I found in Tamir, evolve Wes that much more to make sure that they're both unique and they both have their own path and they both can exist in the same video without people looking at it and being like, oh, that's just the same person playing the same character. They're both sort of taking their own lanes, and it's been a very fun discovery process.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. For you, Bradley, in addition to Sesame, you also done some work with the Disney Muppets. What was that experience like for you?
Gosh, man, working with the Muppets has been crazy. My very first thing that I got to do with the Muppets was it was an event with Miss Piggy, and I was assisting Eric.
Wow.
And it was live. The thing about this is it was live on stage in front of a couple hundred people. And so that was my very first experience, was this roaring audience where I couldn't hear my thoughts as soon as Miss Piggy came out. And I'm just doing the right hand, but it's like, oh, it's great. There's video of it online. It's insane.
Wow.
But that was my very first experience with the Muppets. And then my second experience was with Kermit and Piggy on The View. It's like Whoopi Goldberg and stuff, and it was on Halloween. That was very fun. I assisted there too. And then I've assisted Kermit a few times now. One of them was for something that'll be out on Disney Plus soon that I can't talk about, but another one was for what is it called? Michael Bublé's Christmas special.
That's right.
Where I had just one of the biggest pinch me moments of my life, because I'm a huge fan of SNL, of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And we filmed that Christmas special in the same building, the same room, the same studio as Saturday Night Live. It was produced by the Saturday Night Live producers. So Lorne Michaels was there. Some of the writers were there. Like, I recognized all these people, and I'm walking these halls that I've seen my whole life. And I'm like brushing, like literally it's a hallway that's roughly this big, and it's me and Jimmy Fallon walking past each other. And I was like, this is, oh my gosh, what a moment. And then we get out on stage and for the rehearsal, because we did this over the course of about 2 days, and we had a couple of rehearsals. And I realized that I'm sitting behind a piano on the SNL stage. Kermit is right here. Michael Bublé is right here. And they're both singing. And I'm like, people would pay so much money to have the chance to sit within spitting distance of Michael Bublé. Not only that, but now he's singing. We're singing together. Or I'm not singing with him, but they're singing together. And I can just like look at this private concert that I get. And not only am I not paying for it, but I'm getting paid to do it.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's like almost offensive. And so, but then like Michael Bublé is one of the coolest people ever, because he honestly spent most of the time that we were there in our dressing room, and we were all just chatting for a very long time. He took us out to get drinks after the show. And it was me and Matt and Michael, one of the producers, and Michael Bublé and his people, and just like sitting in this little group, just like having hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And it was all paid for by Saturday Night Live. Gosh, crazy. And then working on the new Mayhem show has been incredible. Got to work with people I hadn't worked with before, like Bill Beretta. An incredibly awesome person. Since I play piano, they sort of brought me in to do Dr. Teeth's hands.
Oh wow!
So a lot of the stuff that you'll see of Dr. Teeth playing the piano is me doing his hands.
That's awesome.
And then just helping out with, and then meeting Dave Goelz. Him and I on the second to last day, we discovered that like we get it. I was assisting him with Zoot, and he wanted a different kind of dance. He didn't want to dance. He didn't want to do. I'm not sure what I can say, but I was assisting him with Zoot, and I came up with a weird dance, and we just like meshed, and we had the best time. And it was just me and him all day, and he was like, "Oh, we should have done this 4 months ago when we started. That you could have been like my main," because we were doing such weird off-color random things.
Yeah.
And then he gave me a ride home that day, and so we got to talk for another hour, and I'm like, I'm sitting in the car with Dave Goelz, right? Like this is
who's driving you home. Yeah,
he's driving like a maniac. And it was just like, it was so much fun. I had the best time. It's going to be a great show. And
we're so excited.
Working with the Muppets has been the opportunity of a lifetime, and working with Sesame Street and being able to say that I do both, and being able to like proudly wear my Sesame Street cap and proudly wear my Muppet Studio cap has been really incredible.
Yeah.
So
we're definitely
it's fun.
looking forward to it.
It'll be great.
Yes.
It'll be great.
Definitely. So yeah, that's cool that you're working on the Muppets, man. I'm very excited to see that when it drops.
Yeah.
Yes, very excited.
Yes, always love getting to see new Sesame and Muppet stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. It was shot like a movie. It's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna. Oh man, there's so many things. Once it comes out.
Yeah,
once it comes out, you can talk about it again, because there's so much that's just so exciting about the show, and it's just very. There were so many moments that we were sitting there on set just laughing, like I was shaking because I couldn't keep still. I was laughing so hard, and I don't see Dr. Teeth's hand shaking a little bit. It was good.
Well, another thing I'll have to edit out is we are trying to get Bill Barretta on too, so maybe once all the, because I know
Peter Owens as well.
I know Gene Beretta said that he's doing Bill's doing post-production stuff. So maybe if we can like, schedule something, maybe we could have you back on, have Bill or Dave or Peter or whoever back on.
Sure, yeah.
Talk about the
probably early next year once they're getting ready to start doing promotion for it. Yeah.
Right.
Because I think it's mid, I don't know when it releases, sometime next year. Yeah. But once promotion starts for it, then we can come back and talk about the show, because it's
great.
It's gonna be cool.
It's beautiful. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Junior 2023. You're already taking a note. Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
There.
That's awesome.
Good job. Thanks.
So, Matt or Marty, which one of you wants to take the next question?
I'll ask it. Okay.
All
so this is for both of you. Recently, we've seen your amazing roles as Wes and Elijah for Sesame. How did those characters come to be about?
Oh man. I mean, everything's been a reaction of kind of where the country is going as far as the conversations we want to have. Mm-hmm. And Sesame does a really good job at using characters and creating characters to have those conversations with kids. And
amazing job. Yes.
They wanted those characters, and then we got a chance to audition for them.
Oh wow!
One thing I do remember about the auditions, like everything was in Zoom for the first time because it's still during pandemic.
Yeah.
But the conversations, I know, like me and you. I talked to Bradley about different stuff because they was have us in these waiting rooms for a little bit. I'm like, oh, we'll be back. Yeah. And we just log off, and we're like, so. But having these conversations about character and intent and even the idea of what's going on was very powerful, and it's been really cool. Like even the stuff that isn't on message, we got a chance to talk to writers and just kind of start to make them a reflection of us, which is even stronger. So
because I think part of the beauty I think is when you get to relate to a character, with the haircut and with the weatherman, take a kid to work day. When you relate to a character and you care about a character, when bad things happen and you have to have that deliberate conversation, it's a bit more powerful. And so Wes and Elijah are sort of basically a great way for parents, no matter the color, no matter where you're from or what you look like, to have that conversation. And you can show one of these videos, and then it starts the conversation, because a lot of parents don't know how to even start the conversation. And so you can start by, showing some of these videos and then saying, well, I mean, what are your questions? What do you want to know? Sesame has worksheets to help, make sure that your kids are understanding these things. And it's just for families to be able to speak more explicitly about it, because speaking in a very vague way about it has obviously not really worked. And so it's time to just outright say, this is, they're darker because of melanin, and sometimes things happen that aren't really fair, but we're here to be together and figure this out and talk through it as a group, as a family, as a group of friends, as neighbors.
Hence the coming together.
Yes,
title. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
I watched the See Us Coming Together special last year when it came out. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think I did as
Ji
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ji Young. I
That was
love Ji Young.
very,
right.
Yes.
it was a very fun special to do.
So the both of you, what was it like for the two of you getting to work together for the first time?
Oh.
Bad. It was the worst. We decided he likes to. Chris is the kind of guy, he spits in the puppet before you put it on and expects you to be okay with it.
I like it to
He
be
just likes to
warm
assert his
and wet.
dominance.
That's weird.
But he spit in my puppet.
Yeah, I like
That's
it to
not
be
how I
warm and
want
wet.
That's not how I want the puppet to feel.
How can you get your
man.
hand in if it's not a little? You gotta loosen it up.
I said, that's rude, Chris. He said,
I said, tell me what I ate. We all ate the same thing as catered lunch.
he went to Wienerville. Yeah, no, it was, I mean, we had already sort of known each other from the workshop, and
Yeah,
you've been around already, so it wasn't unfamiliar. It was just, for me, because this was my first time in this brand new environment with all these performers and stuff. I'd never worked with Ryan before. I'd never properly really worked with Chris before. Never worked with Marty or Carmen or anybody who was in those videos. And so it was just like, I don't know, it was a lot to process, but having Chris there as a person that I sort of already knew, and then Chris being Chris, Chris. It was very he was always making this face, and we were like, put the puppet on, we have a show to do, and he's like, I'm so cute.
Hey, we'll get to it.
It was really reassuring and really nice to sort of have somebody to help me feel a little bit more comfortable in that situation. And ever since then, I mean, we've just been getting to mess around with Wes and Elijah more, and having Wes be sort of like the annoying kid, like,
hey dad.
It's and there's a big old gap between the older Puppeteers, the older Muppet performers, and this new batch is coming in, and this is like so freaking fun when
I can imagine.
So seeing like Brad, like when he pops up on the Zoom screen, you're like, oh my god, this is great. You don't know who's gonna show up in auditions. I'm like, yes. So it's, and then like there's this energy that comes through, and I start to get like those Muppet talks, like, yeah, we used to mess around, and when the camera's off, and like, oh, I get it.
Now now we're doing it, which is so much
we have
fun.
a lot of fun.
Because
sometimes when you work, when you work those veterans, sometimes you're just like, keep my stuff together.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Professional, gotta show them I can do this. But like when it's like Bradley and Kathy, I'm like,
that's what happens. Like when we were doing, I know that's all we do when we're doing Wes and Elijah stuff, because a lot of that is just like you and me, we're leading it, and then maybe somebody like Jamaica or Brandon will come in to help out. Spencer, Kathy will come and help out, and yes, we'll have like Peter and Eric in the room, but because we're the ones with the most lines, they're not sort of there all the time, and we just sort of have our chemistry already, and so we're able to just mess around and have fun and add things and improvise and just talk about each other and talk crap about other, like the chicken. Hey, damn, that chicken looks weird. Or like pretend that Wes is Prince. Just stuff like that. And we're just messing around, and it's really fun because I'm not with these veterans. It's people that you've looked up to for such a long time and that you respect, and I don't respect Chris, so it makes it that much easier.
Man, there were times like I knew I was like, we're not gonna get through that because we're gonna be like, I'm gonna have so much fun. We get back to the room, I was like, we didn't get enough done, but like that was the most fun shooting ever.
It was so much fun. I mean, we laughed so hard.
I thought we were never going to do the wiggle jiggle. I was like, we'll never do that.
No, we never do that.
I was like, we won't make it. Let's do that immediately.
It was the silliest little thing. And then, making what's his name? The man who I think his name was Chad, our barber.
Oh yeah,
Chad.
Was so much fun. Oh gosh, that was he's such a nice guy.
We gotta have him on.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
One of my other favorite things with that Wes and Elijah were the dad song with Elmo. Dad. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Cool.
Now with characters such as Wes, Elijah, Tamir, even Ji Young and Gabrielle, how important do you think those characters are to our community? Like having that kind of representation.
Oh, it's super important. On top of the frame and below the frame, this to see characters that resemble ourselves. And there are a lot of truths that can be worked into the script and can be part of the show now that weren't necessarily always able to. And they've always had Sesame has always had really good the human cast has been really diverse, so they've been able to do stuff like that. But it's also nice to have the kid characters in there, and then not to have to. We can talk about tough subjects and not kind of recreate trauma all the time. So it's kind of nice, and it's also cool to be able to have these puppet characters that kids can look up to, and kids can draw pictures and have coloring sheets. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Or say hey, they look like me, which is really cool, because with Muppets, because there's so many different colors, anybody can relate to any one Muppet, but it sort of goes back to the deal of being able to have that conversation explicitly and say instead of just being yes, he's purple, but we know he's black. Instead of having to do it off to that side, with Roosevelt Franklin, who was that was an attempt at diversity back in the 70s. This is just explicitly saying, I am Trinidadian, I am Korean, I am this, that, or the other. And so below and above the frame, having people that look like us and sound like us, speak like us, have fun is really really incredible to see. And I love the fact that these characters have been so integrated into the cast, and that they're just we're getting to that point now where it's not so much about where they're just able to just have fun. And it's really, really cool, because I think that's what kids really want to see, is to see themselves in these characters and to see themselves have fun with their favorite characters like Elmo and characters like Cookie Monster. It's just it's incredible. I think it's great. Incredible. Whether I was a part of it or not, I'd be incredibly proud of Sesame for
yes.
For the both of you, is there a Sesame Street Muppet that hasn't been used in a while that you should return to get used more?
That I wish we could use.
Oh, that was return to get used more. Yeah.
Okay, my two things. One, I'm gonna get Matt Vogel on this. I want to see Big Bird roller skate again. I know we have have less. Yeah. I've already brought this up to him. We have less room. The studio's smaller than it was. So I don't know if that's gonna be possible. But there's courts.
I also
everywhere.
think he can't roller skate. But he needs to try.
But he does. We're still be on it, man. It's gonna be great. And then Barkley. I want to see Barkley.
Yes.
I like Barkley. Is great.
Barkley is awesome.
It'd also be cool to see Alice again. We haven't seen her in forever.
Alice.
Alice. Yeah, you're right. You're
right.
I have a couple answers. I think my first answer is Snuffy.
Yes.
I want to see more of Snuffy.
Agreed.
I love Lefty. I think Lefty is so funny and would do. I mean, he only sort of does the one thing, but I think he could do that one thing really well more often.
There's always a space to manipulate someone out of money. There's always room.
Yes. And then there's I think I have two more. Forgetful Jones, I think, is one of the funniest characters ever. I just think he's incredibly funny. And then honestly, I think Right Time, Right Place, Harvey Knee Slapper would be fun to have, that would be fun. One or two bits.
Oh my gosh.
But I think mostly it's Snuffy and Forgetful Jones.
Yeah. Yes. Sure.
I always it's always assumed that I put Hoots on that list. More Hoots.
More Hoots.
It's a fun character.
Now
I still haven't seen Hoots in person. I really want to.
Oh, you have? I guess that's true. We didn't get a chance to. They were moved. I was supposed to shoot some stuff. Not too long ago, and I'd have been doing Hoots and Elijah the same day. They got moved.
Next time.
So since Bradley, I know you have to run out soon. Matt, why don't you ask the next question for Bradley specifically? The next.
Okay, sure. So as one of the newest performers on Sesame, what would you say you've learned or taken the most from, working alongside, say, Chris or Marty Robinson, those type of guys?
What have I learned the most?
Forsaken.
You know, I've learned a lot, and I think somebody that I, may be surprising. I worked on Helpsters as well.
Oh yeah.
And I was one of my first things that I was assigned when I was on Helpsters was assisting Scatter on Helpsters, and he's performed by Tim Lagasse. Tim is a very no nonsense puppeteer. As much as he is a nonsensical person, he's like a no nonsense sort of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do and this is what we have to do. And that was my first time working in a proper studio, working on TV, assisting the main character. Like it was my first time working, that type of shooting on raised sets, all sorts of things. And so he would give me things that were not typically very easy for a right hand to do, but it taught me to not, weasel my way around things and just to do it. Do it. Figure out a quick solution for it and just do it. Yeah. And we only ever had 2 or 3 takes, and those are the ones that we would use. And he's not the kind of person to say, good job. He's the kind of person to say, do better. And then once you do it right, he's not going to say anything and we're going to move on because you did it right. So there's no need to say anything. And so then that was sort of it. And he taught me a lot, and he scared the crap out of me for such a long time. But then him and I have gotten a little bit closer, and I got to thank him, and he's like, see, it helped. And so it really did help me, because that prepared me for coming into Sesame, where it was just, that's what it is. I mean, you get maximum 3 or 4 takes. 4 takes is too much. You get like a max of 3 takes. And you have to get it right, no matter how technically complicated it is, no matter how many words you have, you just have to get it right. And so it taught me to just like, okay, forget about the thought, forget about overthinking. There's no time to overthink anything. Just do. And that's something that really helped me get through the Sesame season, and has helped me get through so many more things as well.
Thank you, Bradley.
Yes, well, Bradley, thank you so much for being on.
Thank
you. And could we one more thing before you go. Hey Wes, are you around to maybe deliver some last words before Bradley has to go off?
Oh my gosh.
Sure, I'll turn off my camera to make it more real.
Okay.
Oh, hey everybody.
Hi Wes.
Hey Wes.
Hey. How are you?
Hello, we're very good.
Wonderful. Great. I'm really happy to be here.
I bet.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you on.
Very happy to have you here.
Of course.
We love seeing you in the new Sesame Street stuff with your dad, Elijah.
Oh yes.
You guys can see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, cool. Well, I hope it makes you happy.
It does.
It's very happy.
Where is Elijah? Is he around? Well, I don't know. I don't work on. Don't ask me. I don't work on Sesame Street. Not yet.
Dad. Dad.
Yeah. Hey.
Dad.
What are you doing in here?
Dad.
Are you on a Zoom call?
Yeah. What? Wait. Why aren't you just in the same room as me?
I am in the same. No, I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Yeah, I'm right here. Hey.
My dad's cool. He's right behind me.
What in the world? Okay. Hey.
Dad.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, Mom gave me the password for her computer, and I joined a Zoom call with some of my friends.
Listen, Naomi, he has a password. Naomi, hey, he's on a Zoom call with guys.
Thanks, Mom. It's okay. She approved.
Oh, great. Oh, it's okay. Well,
my dad was worried.
Hey, everybody.
But I have to get to my online schooling class. But I'll see you all later. And it was really, really cool to meet all of you.
Yeah, good to meet you guys. Yeah, we gotta.
Good to meet you, Wes. And
right, let's log you into school.
Okay, I love you, Dad.
Love you too, son. Let's log. We gotta log you into school. We're gonna.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Wes.
There you go.
Yes. Oh, Bradley's awesome.
Oh my god.
He's awesome. There.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I still got more questions.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Matt or Marty? Which one now?
I'm gonna
or Julius. I see he's back there.
Well, it's about time somebody recognized me.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. He gets called Snuffy a lot.
You want to come out here and ask
Yeah, come on, Julius. Come on.
All right, Marty, I'll put you aside.
This drops him.
Poor guy's been sitting him down in ninja for the last hour and a half. You poor thing.
There he is.
Hello.
The trash heap is spoken.
You know what? That's one of the first I get that called that. Not as often as Snuffy, but
oh man, okay, good.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. So go ahead. Okay, so Sesame Street's near its 53rd year. You guys already filmed it. Without saying too much, because I know there's a lot of stuff you can't talk about yet since it hasn't aired, obviously. Is there anything we can expect from this coming season?
What can I say? Oh, well, there's the new characters, a lot of fun stuff. They take big swings. They always try to do something very cool. There were a lot of times on set that they were doing stuff and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I said that multiple days when I was shooting. I was like, what's happened? Well, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, what are you doing this? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I said that multiple times this season. This really fun stuff, really new characters, new performers. It'll definitely be something worth watching when it drops.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
definitely. Now, in addition to, I know you mentioned this a little bit in the beginning. In addition to puppetry acting, you've also done a bit of TV and film, like on-screen acting. What has that experience been like?
Oh, that's really cool. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier because it's easier in some points. In some points, it isn't. When you puppeteer, you can see your performance while you're doing it, so you kind of have a knowledge of, oh, okay, I need to make my body this way, and then and I need to make it this way or this way. When you're doing live action and it's just you're relying on the DP and the director. You're like, I guess I'm gonna look good. I can't see anything. I don't see playback or anything. So they said cut and I'm done. I guess I did good. I gotta trust the people who are in charge, which you gotta do that too with puppetry, but at least when you're puppeteering, you can see it. You're like, okay, well that was good. Maybe they'll use that take. But live acting is it's very different.
I bet.
Yes.
Yeah. So for you, Chris, what would you say you prefer working on more, TV
Jakey, there's
or
nobody else
film?
here except for us and him. All right.
Yeah. Oh, TV or film? I like TV a lot. I mean, I haven't done a ton of film, puppet wise. I got one thing in the can that was very fun, and then some little things here and there. Before I like TV. TV is very fun. The film stuff was fun too. I mean, at this point, I'm not in a place to be picky or choosy. Anybody invite me and I'll come if you're shooting either.
There you go.
Yeah. So, actually, why you can go ahead. It was for Bradley, but I feel like
I'll alternate this.
Anyway.
I'll ask it anyway. So, Chris, as a new Muppet performer, is there any role
one of the newer
anything
ones,
you wish that you could have do that you haven't done yet?
For Sesame specifically, I know. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff. Stuff that I haven't done yet that I'd be very excited to do.
Like any role.
Man, there's just so much, man. I mean, they're doing so much. Sesame's doing so much, and I've read for the podcast, and I would love to do more of the VO stuff and the video games and voiceover cartoons, and even on the show. I mean, anything that I can do. I just have so much fun, and I feel like I'm expressing myself very well when I'm there. So there's still a ton of things I have not done on the show or other properties, and I'm up for anything.
There you
go. Nice. So, here's a fun question: if you could go back in time Is there a Sesame or Muppets project you wish you would have had the chance to work on?
Yes. I can go back in time. My two answers are Don't Eat the Pictures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Follow That Bird.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh yeah.
It just looked like you go back and watch that movie. It just like it's shot so well. It looks very good. It's like there's some scenes like I know when Bert and Ernie are watching Kermit on TV to do like the news report. It's just so like dark and it's like the light from the TV shine. I'm like that is just like cinematic. I just think about it all the time about how like nice that movie looks. Like just like on a screen. I was like, I'd love to do that. And then a lot of the fun stuff they did in cars and on location. And then Don't Eat the Pictures is just like I just like the idea of shooting in a place like that art museum, and then seeing like all the natural history stuff is really cool.
Late at night too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
We had Michael Paul on it, who was amazing.
Oh, okay, cool.
He was a part of that stuff. So as a puppeteer, what challenge would you say you faced during your career? Challenges.
It's all the main challenge is just there being enough projects to work on, not just Sesame stuff. Sesame's pretty good at hollering at me when they have openings, but project puppet stuff in general, I would like to see there be a ton more puppet projects being put out there. It's a fun art form, and that's the main. If I ever have a gripe with anybody or anything, it's usually that I want to be doing more. I wouldn't be minding to be crazy busy, and I got we shoot a lot of stuff here in Atlanta. So much so that we're at odds with LA as far as like shooting, how much shooting there is. And I would love for a lot of that shooting to be puppet stuff. I've done some puppet stuff here a couple months ago. And then we've done stuff. We did Doom Patrol here and different things, but like,
oh, nice.
That's the thing that we like. We like to do puppet stuff. We have tons of puppeteers here that would love to just work. Everyone wants to work. They want to do more. They want to create because it just, you feel that tension.
Yeah, and I know, of course, in the course of the pandemic, I know, with Sesame, I heard that like only a select number of puppeteers would be allowed on set at a time.
Yeah,
right. It was down to like it was tiny too. So they were doing what they could, and as things open back up, so did the casting opportunities, and all about being safe, and like that's you can't argue with safety. So
right? Yeah,
it's understandable, but at the same time, it's like, well, we gotta wait.
There you go.
Yes.
Can you share any projects that you're working on now?
What can I share?
Like, of course, other than
season 53.
Sesame.
Season we're on 54. We did 53. That's coming out in November. I shot a movie called The Curse of Bridge Hollow, which will be coming out in October on Netflix.
Nice.
That has a ton of puppets. Got some Henson did puppets for it. Has Marlon Wayans starring in it. Really fun. We did a lot of practical stuff too, which is fun. I am pitching shows to a big old kids network. I'll say that much. That's a lot of fun, and I'm working on a one-man puppet show.
Oh, nice.
That's built for adults about African history and African American experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's all the little things. I'm just trying to stay busy.
Awesome. Can't wait to check those out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yes, and for those wondering, you can, when the new season of Sesame Street comes out, it'll be on HBO Max.
Yep.
And then I think because I haven't seen much, have the episodes do still go out on PBS, right?
Yeah, after about 9 months, they put them on PBS, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta renew my
HBO Max fully.
Even though they removed like most of the classic episodes, I gotta renew my subscription.
Yeah, they did remove a lot. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, business stuff is crazy. I don't really know a ton about it. I just know, like, but
that's what it is, though.
They're
all on YouTube anyway.
Right. Hopefully, there's more new cool stuff, and like they'll be like, well, we got rid of this, but we're bringing you this. Hopefully, it'll be
that's just
swing back.
temporarily thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or maybe this will be the opportunity for someone to be like, well, that sucks. Well, I want to make something here, and we'll get another network or another creator to build something because they're like, well, I want that show to make me feel like this. So, it's a bummer sometimes, but sometimes stuff like that makes people go, Urgh.
It happens.
If, George Lucas doesn't get Flash Gordon, he goes and creates Star Wars,
Yeah, exactly.
So I want Flash Gordon. All right, fine. I'll make my own thing.
There you go.
So
I love how Sesame Street parody trash Flash Gordon in the earlier.
Oh yeah,
I gotta go back and watch that. They've done so much.
I haven't seen that forever. Wow, that's a.
I gotta go watch Columbo because I like Columbo.
Oh yeah,
it's like Columbo's a good show.
Yeah. So, anything you'd like to say to your fans and supporters?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone who watches the stuff and finds and likes it. Follow me on my socials. You'll see a bunch of pictures of me on set and my kids.
We'll find Bradley's information.
And we go for
Cool. Yeah. I'm sure you like that.
We'll leave everything in the description down below.
Yeah. Keep watching the show. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of your socials, if people want to contact you, where can people find you?
I'm on ChrisThomasHayes.com. And all of my socials are Chris versus Cap. Chris vs CAP. Chris versus Cap. Almost all of my socials are that.
Nice.
That makes it easy.
Awesome.
Nice. So we only got one more question.
Matt or Julius or Marty, you want to answer?
Marty, just ask it in the distance.
Marty, ask it in the distance. It'd be funny.
What about Julius?
Oh yeah, Julius. I don't think has asked it in a while. Has he?
Julius, ask it.
Do you mind? No. Okay. Cool. Thanks. Okay. So this podcast, as you know, is Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how do you define nostalgia?
When I think about nostalgia, I think of nostalgia like a emotion, a feeling.
Yeah.
There are physical things that we grab onto. We think about shows and music and things that we used to look back on, but what we're really grabbing onto is that the feeling that those things dig up in us, and it's something that we didn't know we needed being like fulfilled. So I think about that, like when I read Scott Pilgrim for the first time, I was like, I didn't know I needed this so bad. And there's moments when we live, and as our years go by, we're like, there are different things like, man, I need something, and there's something that I need something to speak of, and I think about those things in the past, like, oh yeah, that thing made me feel good. It made me feel full. It made me laugh. And as time gets by, those feelings just like that feeling gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And there's something about thing about nostalgia is that you look back and try to recapture it. And luckily now with technology, we can start to recapture some of those things that made us feel that way, and hopefully bring up the same emotions.
Also, I know we heard Elijah, but does Hoots have anything to say?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm all about nostalgia. I think about when was the last time I haven't played this horn in a long time. I played the tuba not too long ago. I got real nostalgic over that, man, because I haven't played a brass instrument in forever, man. Right. Oh man, yeah, that's what I think about nostalgia.
There you go.
Yes.
That's the best.
That's good to hear, Hoots.
Yes, good to hear. Hoots. Yeah. And there is actually another question for any like up and coming puppeteers. What would you say is the biggest piece of advice you could give to anyone who wants to get into puppetry?
Well, I can tell you with a strong certainty that the people I've seen come, I'm in this weird gap. I'm 40, and so I'm right between like the veterans who are older than me and like the new crop is coming in. There's like a big splash of us, and the people who I've seen come into our ranks, they create stuff, they make stuff, they set themselves up so that they can do what they want to do immediately. So I would be on Instagram and I would see puppeteers or people who want to be puppeteers. They would go live and they would be doing monitor work with their puppets. They have very little to no training. Some of them, it doesn't matter. That's not how the world works. You don't have to have training. Sometimes you can be self-taught and put your 10,000 hours in And then you look again and you're like, oh crap, they've been on doing this for a long time. Now they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, all of a sudden they're in a cast. And now we have a lot of those folks moving into theater cast and now doing the film stuff. So
yeah,
just get out there and do it. Do it poorly. It's fine. Do it poorly. And then once you realize like I did it poorly, now I'm really good. So
yeah. I know.
Just do it.
Yeah. I know Matt. I mean, Bradley sees some of Matt's puppet work live. Hopefully,
see
some of Matt's puppet work live.
The
on
only
his Instagram.
now wait a minute, Wyatt. The only reason he was in the chat on that was because of Brandon. Yes, that's the only reason.
You know, Matt goes live on
Instagram.
Well, he tries to do it every week, but sometimes he has other things he needs to do. So some weeks he isn't able.
That's
to
great.
Or we need a break sometimes because breaks are good, folks. Take them.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
Take them.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, you gotta keep on hitting it and keep on doing it, and
exactly.
And then you get good. So I'm a perfectionist, so I struggle with that idea of just doing something in front of an audience. I'm like, ugh. Even I try to force myself and do stuff. So.
Yes. And to all of our viewers and listeners, before we end this, I do want to say yesterday it has been 10 years since we lost Jerry Nelson.
Yes.
And we all miss Jerry to death. Even those who did not get a chance to work with him, I'm sure definitely miss him and miss his work as not only the Count and Harry, but also Floyd and Gobo Fraggle and all those wonderful characters that he did. So we miss you like crazy, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yes. Day after taping anyway. Yeah.
And everyone that we've lost over the past couple of years, like
Richard,
Emilio Delgado, and Carol Spinney.
Carol, he was there with my first season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. What was that? It was like working with him. Well,
it was great. He was starting to move out of doing the bird, but he would do other stuff. He was
because of his health.
I used to my family actually knew him. He would send them Christmas cards, so I wrote to him when I started this journey. He wrote back, and I got to meet him in person. When I'm like, I'm actually here. This is crazy, and he's like, so good to meet you. Now that I'm seeing you, you look like Peele. I was like, I look like Peele. And his wife was like, he loves Key and Peele. I was like, oh, okay. I had my hair was like shorter.
Oh my God.
And I had like a little, you're like, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Remember that. And now Jordan Peele's a big deal. So it's great. But I never forgot, like, that guy is legend.
He is.
Yes.
Anyway.
I'll be missed. Well, hey.
Absolutely.
Same as Emilio.
Yes. Well, to you and of course Bradley, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
This is fun.
For Bradley and you, Chris, both of you did such a great job of what you're doing on Sesame Street. Keep up your great work, and can't wait what's next for you.
Yeah, and I hope if you're able to
great job
come back on in the future, we have you guys on again.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, and again, special thanks to DJ Bob for helping us with this.
Thank you, Bob.
I of course communicated with Bradley personally to get him on, but DJ Bob helped me and helped Chris kind of get in touch and get him on the show.
That sounds like a TV show. Somebody pitch us.
Oh no!
I'd love to.
Hey, I'd do it.
I'd watch it.
It's double Chris.
I'd watch it.
I didn't think of that.
Yes, but that brings another great episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show to a close. We've absolutely enjoyed our time with Chris Thomas Hayes and Bradley Freeman Jr.
Yes.
Absolutely.
From all of us to all of you, remember that you are worth it and to always stay nostalgic. Bye-bye, everybody.
Stay nostalgic, you're worth it. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you next time on another episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Be sure to follow us on social media and stream us wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember that you are worth it and to always stay nostalgic. Bye-bye.